Declines in renewable energy pricing are creating opportunities for electric cooperatives in the U.S. to deliver cost savings to their members. However, this is also creating risks for those utilities that are slower to transition to these technologies, according to a new study. Electric cooperatives have proposed retiring significant coal capacity and generating 55% of their energy from wind and solar resources by 2026. This would likely result in net customer cost savings because of the highly competitive bids for wind and solar energy. The long-term fixed prices for new wind and solar projects beat the operating costs of many existing coal assets in the West. The ocean's surface water is home to a vast population of microscopic organisms, collectively known as plankton. This floating population comprises tiny forms of plant and animal life, which play a crucial role in sustaining the ocean's ecosystem. These organisms are responsible for transforming the inorganic constituents of their environment into organic foodstuffs such as protein, fat, and carbohydrates under the influence of sunlight. Just as land animals and humans depend ultimately on grass and green-leaved plants for their food supply, marine life depends directly or indirectly on the tiny unicellular marine plants of plankton. The plankton's ability to transform inorganic components of their environment into essential nutrients for other marine organisms makes them vital to the ocean's food web. Plankton not only provide a vital food source for marine life but also play a crucial role in the carbon cycle. These organisms absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and convert it into organic matter, which then sinks to the ocean floor. This process helps regulate the Earth's climate by reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, a critical function in mitigating the impact of climate change. In summary, the plankton of the ocean's surface water form a critical foundation for the ocean's ecosystem, sustaining all marine life either directly or indirectly. Their ability to convert inorganic components of their environment into essential nutrients and their role in the carbon cycle makes them vital to the health of the planet. Physical exercises are vital to general health. The working man, however, is likely to get enough of it from his daily work. But those with sedentary habits, especially those working indoors, will not get enough exercise from their activities. While the gym is popular and it has done a lot to make weak people strong, it's not advisable for anyone to take more than very simple exercises without a doctor's advice. Exercises can be done in the bedroom with the use of light dumbbells or without the use of any apparatus at all. Walking is the best of all because it can be enjoyed by those in poor health or physically weak. It takes one out of the doors, and exercising out of the doors is much better than exercising in a closed room. If you exercise at home, open all the windows. Everyone should walk in the open air at least 2 miles a day unless they are very weak. Take long breaths in the open air every morning. Overexercise and much of that practiced by athletes injure the heart and work opposite from the intention. No strenuous exercise should be taken after midlife without a physician's advice. Potatoes grew wild in Peru, a country of South America, from where they were transplanted to other parts of the American continent and then to Europe. The honor of introducing this valuable vegetable into England is divided between Sir Francis Drake in 1580 and Sir Walter Raleigh in 1586, some ascribing it to the former, and others to the latter. It is certain that they were obtained from Virginia at the time of Raleigh. They were planted only in the gardens of the rich people and were considered a great delicacy. They are now the staple food in most countries of Europe and America. In Ireland, they have long provided nearly 80% of the entire food of the people. In journeying through foreign lands, especially in the East, the English or American traveler is constantly amazed to observe upon what meager diet the natives exist. Accustomed to meat at every meal, he sees thousands of people who eat meat perhaps not once a year, used to an abundance of vegetables and fruits of infinite variety. He encounters people who live on 2 or 3 vegetables and as many fruits. In the mines of Hungary, the workers dine on 2 slices of brown bread and an apple. The Italians are content with a little oil and a handful of macaroni. The Chinese exist almost entirely on rice, and the Arabs will live for weeks on dried dates. The surprise is not so much that these people exist, but that they are healthy and strong. Doubtless, most of this moderation is due to poverty, since all nationalities soon fall into our ways of eating when they come to these shores, but their self-control is nonetheless a proof that much of what we eat is an unnecessary burden to our stomachs. The primary purpose of eating is to sustain life, not to please the taste buds. We need material to replenish the waste of tissue, material to make blood and bone and flesh, and that is all. The harp was the favorite instrument of ancient Saxons in Great Britain. No nations have been more famous for their harps and folk musicians than the Welsh and Irish. The legendary Alfred infiltrated the Danish camp, disguised as a folk musician, because the harpers had marched through the ranks of the enemy undisturbed because of their profession. The same trick was also employed by a number of Danish chiefs in the camp of Athelstan, the Saxon. The bards, or harpers of old, were the historians of the time. They handed down from generation to generation the history of remarkable events, and of the deeds and lineage of their celebrated chiefs and princes. The harpers of Britain were invited to the banquets of kings and nobles. Their task was to sing or recite the victories of their patrons. Washing hands can keep you healthy and prevent the spread of respiratory and diarrheal infections from one person to another. Germs can spread from other people or surfaces when you touch your eyes, nose, and mouth or prepare or eat food and drinks with unwashed hands. The germs can also spread when you blow your nose, cough, or sneeze into hands and then touch other people's hands or common objects. Washing hands with soap and water is the best way to get rid of germs in most situations. If soap and water are not readily available, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Sugarcane is a crop of immense significance both economically and culturally. Sugarcane belongs to the grass family and is widely cultivated in tropical and subtropical regions around the world. Sugarcane is primarily grown for the production of sugar, but it is also used in the production of biofuels and other products such as molasses and rum. The high sugar content of sugarcane makes it a valuable crop for the sugar industry, and it is estimated that over 70% of the world's sugar supply comes from sugarcane. The cultivation of sugarcane is a complex process that involves careful management of soil, water, and nutrients. The crop requires a warm and humid climate with well-drained soils and regular rainfall. Sugarcane is propagated through stem cuttings and takes between 12 to 18 months to mature. Sugarcane farming involves a significant amount of labor, from planting and harvesting to processing and transportation. Despite the challenges involved in sugarcane farming, it remains an important source of income for millions of farmers around the world. However, sugarcane farming also has its environmental challenges. The use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides can lead to soil degradation and water pollution. It is therefore important for farmers to adopt sustainable farming practices to ensure the long-term viability of sugarcane cultivation. scholarships provide financial assistance to students who may not be able to afford the cost of education, thereby increasing access to education for all. Scholarships come in different forms, including merit-based scholarships, need-based scholarships, and athletic scholarships. Merit-based scholarships are awarded to students based on their academic achievements, while need-based scholarships are awarded to students based on their financial need. Athletic scholarships are awarded to students who excel in sports and other extracurricular activities. One of the most significant advantages of scholarships is that they help to reduce the financial burden on students and their families. By providing financial assistance, scholarships make it possible for students to pursue their academic goals without worrying about the cost of education. Scholarships also provide an opportunity for students to access higher education that they may not have been able to afford otherwise. This, in turn, helps to increase diversity and inclusivity in higher education institutions. Furthermore, scholarships provide recognition for academic and athletic achievements, which can boost the self-esteem and confidence of students. This recognition can also lead to further opportunities, such as internships and employment. In conclusion, scholarships are an invaluable resource that can help to level the playing field for students who may not have had access to education otherwise. Scholarships provide financial assistance, increase access to education, and boost the self-esteem and confidence of students.